Peace family, Michelle from supersfarm here. So it is a chilly but sunny day today, so I'm going to take this opportunity and get these seedlings in the ground. I was looking in the camera and I saw this and I noticed this hyacinth has like almost doubled this year, which is awesome, and it's also getting ready to flower. Hyacinth is a bulb. It comes back every year, and it's really cool because it multiplies. And what I did was plant random hyacinth bulbs. Actually, I stuck this stick here when I planted those bulbs so that I wouldn't forget and plant something on top of it. But anyway, I have them tucked all over the garden, and I'm so glad that I did that because they're starting to pop up. Look, there's another one over there, which is super cool. Anyway, so like I said, I'm in the raised bed garden this morning, and I have some seedlings that I started back in January. Let me show those to you. So I started these seedlings back in January 17th, and they were neglected. Unfortunately, man, my work schedule just like really increased in January, and so I wasn't able to tend to them. And actually, when these guys came up, I wasn't even in town, and of course I didn't have the grow lights on, so they spent about 24, maybe 48 hours at the most after they popped through the soil, and they were just in darkness. So that's primarily why they're leggy. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the ground because, like I've said before, they're definitely not gonna grow in the trash. So we'll put them in the ground, see how they do, and go from there. Alright family, so I got that kale planted. It's the Nero Toscana, and what I did was put the tag here, you can see it there, but the kale plants are kind of like in a zigzag in a line here. So you can see there's one right there. And so that way I'll know the kale coming up on this side is that particular kale. If it decides to come up, if not, I mean, that literally took all of 5 minutes. So, you know, we'll see how it does. All right, so I got the burgundy broccoli. Again, there's the tag. And I sort of did the same thing here, just planted them sort of in a line, but more like a zigzag. So, let's see my finger. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, and there's one kind of back there in the back right there. So, and I'm planting these brassicas. I'm sort of interplanting them. I'm interplanting them in between like my really aromatic, fragrant herbs and the garlic and onions, so that hopefully that will kind of deter the pests that really love brassicas. It's the first time I've done that. Actually, I think I read it, I'm trying to remember, or maybe I watched a YouTube video, I don't remember, but I didn't come up with that idea. I read it. Look at that. Ma'am. Hello. This is May May. Hello. And May May came to us from far, far away. My daughters brought her to me. She was found on the streets. Oh, yes. And she is a sweet pie. I don't know if you guys can hear her purring. Let me see. Oh, you don't like the camera? You don't like the camera? Oh, I see one that I didn't get planted. I was trying to get her out of the bed. She is really trying to get my attention. And I thought cats didn't like strong smells. And this is my herb bed. Anyway, I saw I have one I need to plant. Let me get that planted real quick. All right, I got that last one planted. Let's see what we have next. The next row is gonna be cilantro, and then looks like after that I have some collard greens and some green cauliflower. Doesn't look like, well, maybe one or two of the broccolis came up, the green, just regular broccoli, and then one of the early broccolis. Somebody found a little hiding spot, but there's grasshoppers that are trying to get to those plants. So I'm pretty sure she's gonna tear up that row cover. Trying to get the grasshoppers. Oh my goodness. It's always some adventure on the farm, you know? Anyway, so this was my strawberry bed here. This is where I also have my bananas, those grocery store onions, and I had 4 blueberry bushes, but I don't think, actually I had 5, but I don't think these are gonna survive. Now, May is in the garden. It's like a story within a story, right? Because Zora is trying to get to her, but Zora is not allowed in the garden. So May's figured out she has a safe place. So we'll see how long that lasts. Now May sees Zora. Zora does not yet see May, but she knows she's around here somewhere. I'm sure she can smell her, and she probably saw her run in this direction. Anyway, let's get these let's get this celery planted, and we'll plant it in this bed here. All right, so I got the cilantro planted, and I do plant the cilantro a little bit closer, kind of like in a cluster. Let me show you this cilantro here. This is the biggest one that we have, and cilantro doesn't mind being all bunched up. So, oh, I'm in the sun. So yeah, that's how we'll plant it. And it's actually time to come in and harvest this. I actually also have cilantro on my greenstalk. So this row here is cilantro, and I wasn't sure. I actually had to have my mom and Super try it because look how big the leaves are. And it smells like cilantro, and I labeled it cilantro from September, but I just was like, man, did I get the parsley mixed up? Because I must have gotten a variety that has very large leaves, but I dehydrated it up and it is great. So not too disappointed. I ordered 2 more of these chocolate green stalks for Valentine's Day. They had 60% off, so yeah, I got it. But see, I gave my mom, well technically I loaned my mom one of my green stalks, my terracotta color one, and they don't make the terracotta color anymore. So I have this thing where I have to have things in pairs. When I go to the grocery store, I always buy 2 of whatever it is. I don't know what that's about, but I've always done that. So actually when I ordered the chocolate one, I thought I was ordering the terracotta, but when it came, I had 1 terracotta and 1 chocolate. So that's why the terracotta, you probably can't even see it from here, but it's up on the porch, and the chocolate one is here in the garden, because mentally, I don't know, I can't explain it. I just have to have 2 of it if they're going to be 2 of the same, if they're going to be next to each other. See, I've got 2 onions, I've got 2 kale, I've got at least 2 cilantro starts there, but I've got 2 lemongrass, 2 peppermint. I mean, I don't know. Help me. Okay, over here I have onions, and I've got lavender tucked in. Not so much for the pest control, because onions are pretty strong, fragrant, as well as the lavender, but more because I like it. But what I'm going to do is tuck the collard greens. I'm going to tuck the collard greens kind of in sporadically throughout this bed. Alright, so I got the collard greens planted. Again, there's my tag, and I planted these in a straight line. So there's one, there's kind of like the cluster here, and a cluster there. So what I have left is broccoli, desico, and one early broccoli. Let me show you where I'm going to plant those. Okay, I'm going to plant those in this open space right here. What is she doing? So there is a rosemary right here, and then there's some onions. That's a dianthus flower. And then of course the majority of what's over in this bed is celery. And I did tuck in some shallots because for whatever reason, early on the celery was attacked by something. Something was pulling them up. But the ones that stayed are doing really well. So I tucked in some shallots from those celeries that got attacked. And I want to have this open space here that's covered with the lemongrass mulch. I'm going to keep it open because I want to come back and plant some more of that red celery. I only had one, and it didn't make it, so I want to plant some more. So I'm leaving that whole space open for me to plant the red celery, but I'm going to plant the broccoli here.